To introduce myself, this is V. Ram. I am a technical professional with more than 32 years of experience in the industries. I was working with multinationals like John Brown, Uday, India, Germany, and also Chemtex. On the oil and gas front, I have been associated with the Kuwait Oil Company, Petroleum Development, Qatar General Petroleum, and few other oil companies. My major focus has been safety, and I have been heading the organizations in the specific area of safety where I have been inculcating the spirit of safety in all the people wherever I have trained. Now, to tell you specifically why I have chosen NIST, the reason to put it in a very simple format is that this is a very professional company, a company with high principles and people who value education more as a passion rather than a business. And this is one thing which has specifically drawn me towards NIST. My association with NIST has been for more than last, I would say, 2 to 2.5 years. And during this 2.5 years, I would be very glad to share that tremendous amount of volume and value has been added to the NIST family. I have been specifically handling client accounts of the major type like Associated Cements, Larsen Tubro, Sterlite Power, and the likes. And in all these cases, the emphasis has been to deliver the best and ensure that the NIST name flows on the highest spot. The standards of, if you ask me how many people I have trained so far, I would say in the NIST family itself, I must have done more than about 600 to 700 people. And in my previous experiences, I must have trained more than about 8 to 10,000 people. All this goes to say that, I would like to continue the passion which NIST has set and the standards which NIST has set, and rather to see if I can improve it further and take NIST to the next possible level. In terms of standards of deliverables of NIST, I would say they have maintained a very professional approach in terms of, say, the handouts, in terms of scheduling the training program, in terms of informing the client. As I've been handling all the corporate accounts, it has been a very, very professional approach to ensure that the client is kept 100% satisfied. And I am very glad to say that I have been able to achieve this to a substantial extent. Now, if you look at the takeaway for the delegates who would come here, my one-line advice is that NIST is providing, I will say, top of the class category of training, and this training is in line with international standards, because the kind of exposures we have got, whether it is in the US or in the UK, like the Cape Fear plant in the US, or maybe the Qatar Petroleum plant in the state of Qatar, that is the quality of training and the experiences we will be sharing with the candidates. So one major takeaway for you delegates is that you would be getting the cream of cream experience which is shared and which is not available in any textbook. And this is a matter which we could challenge. Yeah. One more thing I would like to add here is that the demand for training and especially professional trainers is extremely high today. And this is an area where NIST would be able to fill in the gap. And we could definitely add more and more applications spread over to variety of industries so that we are able to reach out to a larger public as a total concept. if you look at what can NIST contribute to an average student, I would say here is a place where the emphasis is more on the average and below average student, because they are the people who need maximum support in terms of understanding. And we do this by ensuring we translate the training content in the local language. Now what happens because of this? The perception and the principles are understood extremely well by the candidates, and for them the whole thing becomes so easy that even if it's a question of adding or missing a few words here and there, still they would have done justice to the examination, and without any doubt I am sure they will be able to successfully come out. During my experience, I had an opportunity of giving a training on defensive driving to Larsen and Toubro. This was in Bangalore, and the impact of the training was so high, I was very easily able to identify about 3 candidates, and I refreshed the entire training to them a couple of times, and they were in turn able to train the drivers on a regular basis, because this was an area of serious concern for them. One reason is that the drivers kept on changing on a regular basis, and it was difficult for them to cope up with the training requirements. Now, since this training was imparted to these 3 candidates, they took care of the training downstream, and the information we got is that there was a drastic reduction in the incidents and near misses in their construction plant. This is the case of Larsen Toubro in Bangalore. So this is one of the success story which I am extremely glad to share with all of you. If you would ask me a question as to what would be your USP for NIST selection by client, I would say is one single line, that NIST is a team which is professional in their approach. They are sincere about their work, and we are people who would like to share every technical detail that is possible, so that end of the day we are only equipping the candidate with more and more strength to handle the hazards and the critical situations on a day-to-day basis. Now, this will go in a long way to ensure that near misses are taken care, and in case they are in a situation where they need to approve a particular hazardous activity before taking up, these learnings what they would undertake from NIST, which is coming from very, very experienced people, it will be extremely useful to the candidate to apply these principles into their day-to-day work. I am sure this is an extremely important takeaway for the NIST candidate. Thank you.